Imagine a pepper plant so prolific, it produces more vibrant, flavorful peppers than you ever thought possible. You've tried all the usual tips: perfect fertilizing schedules, optimal sunlight placement, careful pruning, but what if the most crucial factor has been right under your nose, literally? Today, we're diving deep into the underground mysteries of pepper roots, revealing astonishing secrets that will change the way you grow forever. Get ready to unlock the true potential of your pepper plants. Welcome back to Smart Garden, where we dig deeper than the surface to bring you gardening insights that actually transform your harvests. If you've ever wondered why some pepper plants seem to effortlessly produce basketfuls of perfect peppers, while others struggle despite seemingly identical care, the answer lies in a hidden world that most gardeners never see or consider. Today, we're exploring the intricate, fascinating universe beneath your pepper plants. A world where the real magic of pepper production begins. The invisible foundation, what lies beneath. Here's something that might surprise you. The health you see above ground often tells only half the story. This is what experienced growers call the root paradox. Plants that appear healthy on the surface can be struggling with severely compromised root systems, while some less impressive-looking plants might have incredibly robust underground networks that will soon explode into productivity. When you examine a thriving pepper root system under magnification, you'll discover an intricate web that looks almost like a living neural network. Healthy pepper roots exhibit fine, white feeder roots that branch out in delicate patterns, creating maximum surface area for nutrient and water absorption. These feeder roots are covered in microscopic root hairs that increase absorption capacity by up to 1,000%. In contrast, struggling plants show brown, mushy roots with minimal branching and virtually no feeder root development. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. Pepper roots possess what researchers call root intelligence. These underground systems actively sense their environment, communicating chemical signals throughout the plant network. When roots detect optimal growing conditions in one direction, they release hormones that guide growth toward those resources. They can distinguish between different nutrient concentrations, moisture levels, and even detect the presence of beneficial or harmful microorganisms. This underground communication system is so sophisticated that roots can actually warn the plant about approaching threats days before any visible symptoms appear above ground. Soil story. The medium of magnificence. Understanding soil goes far beyond simply avoiding dirt. For pepper roots to develop their full potential, they need what soil scientists call the perfect structural trinity: proper aggregation, optimal aeration, and efficient drainage. The ideal pepper soil should feel like chocolate cake crumbs when you squeeze it, holding together but crumbling easily when disturbed. Pepper roots require soil that's approximately 45% mineral particles, 25% water, 25% airspace, and 5% organic matter. This structure allows roots to penetrate easily while maintaining access to both moisture and oxygen. Compacted soil, even if nutrient-rich, creates an impenetrable barrier that forces roots to grow in circles rather than expanding outward, severely limiting the plant's ability to access resources and ultimately stunting pepper production. Soil pH represents one of the most critical yet, honestly, often overlooked factors in pepper root health. Peppers really thrive in slightly acidic to neutral soil, with an optimal pH range between 6.0 and 6.8. Within this range, essential nutrients like phosphorus, potassium, and trace minerals remain readily available to root systems. But when pH drops below 5.8 or rises above 7.2, nutrient lockout occurs. Your soil might contain abundant nutrients, but roots just can't access them effectively. Testing your soil pH is remarkably simple using inexpensive digital meters or those color change test strips, and adjusting pH with lime to raise it or sulfur to lower it can, honestly, dramatically transform plant performance within a single growing season. The soil food web represents perhaps the most exciting frontier in pepper cultivation. Beneficial microorganisms, including mycorrhizal fungi and nitrogen-fixing bacteria, form symbiotic relationships with pepper roots that can increase nutrient uptake by 200 to 300%. These microscopic allies extend the effective reach of root systems, break down organic matter into plant-available nutrients, and even provide natural disease resistance. Encouraging these beneficial microbes through compost addition, reduced tillage, and avoiding synthetic chemicals creates a living soil ecosystem that continues improving year after year. Water wisely, hydration for harmony. Watering represents the ultimate balancing act in pepper cultivation, and getting it right makes the difference between mediocre and, honestly, magnificent harvests. The key lies in understanding what I call the Goldilocks principle. Pepper roots need consistent moisture that's neither too wet nor too dry, but just right. Pepper roots are remarkably adaptable, but they respond dramatically to consistent moisture patterns. When you provide steady, moderate watering, roots develop deep, extensive networks that can access nutrients and water from a large soil volume. However, erratic watering, alternating between bone-dry and waterlogged conditions, forces roots to remain shallow and weak, constantly stressed and unable to support robust pepper production. The visual evidence is striking when you compare root development under different watering regimes. Plants receiving consistent, moderate watering develop root systems that can extend 3 to 4 feet laterally and equally deep, creating a massive underground network. Plants subjected to inconsistent watering show stunted, shallow root development that rarely extends beyond 12 inches in any direction, severely limiting their resource access and productivity potential. Modern irrigation techniques can revolutionize your pepper growing success. Drip irrigation systems deliver water directly to the root zone at a slow, steady rate that matches plant uptake, virtually eliminating both overwatering and underwatering issues. Self-watering planters utilize reservoir systems that maintain consistent soil moisture through capillary action, providing roots with steady water access while preventing waterlogging. These systems not only improve plant health but also conserve water and reduce maintenance time, making them valuable investments for serious pepper growers. Nutrient nudges. Feeding the fibers. Pepper roots have specific nutritional requirements that differ significantly from many other garden plants. And, well, understanding these needs unlocks dramatic improvements in plant performance. While most gardeners focus on nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, the familiar NPK trio, pepper roots actually depend on a complex array of macro and micronutrients working in precise balance. Phosphorus deserves special attention in pepper cultivation because it directly influences root development and flowering. Pepper plants with adequate phosphorus develop extensive, healthy root systems that support abundant fruit production. Phosphorus deficiency manifests first in root systems, causing stunted development and poor branching, long before you notice the telltale purple leaf discoloration above ground. This is why soil testing becomes crucial. By the time you see visible symptoms, root damage has already significantly impacted your harvest potential. Calcium represents another critical nutrient that many pepper growers overlook. Beyond preventing blossom end rot in fruits, calcium plays an essential role in root cell wall development and nutrient transport. Pepper roots grown in calcium-adequate soil develop stronger, more resilient structures that can better withstand environmental stress and disease pressure. Adding gypsum or crushed eggshells to your soil provides readily available calcium without affecting soil pH. The debate between organic amendments and synthetic fertilizers becomes particularly relevant when considering long-term root health. Organic amendments like compost, aged manure, and bone meal provide slow-release nutrition that encourages steady root growth and feeds beneficial soil microorganisms. Synthetic fertilizers deliver immediate nutrition but can disrupt soil biology and lead to salt buildup that actually damages root systems over time. The most successful pepper growers often employ a hybrid approach, using organic amendments as their foundation while supplementing with targeted synthetic nutrients during peak growing periods. Root resilience is really all about protecting your pepper's powerhouse, the roots. Even the most carefully tended pepper plants can face threats to their root systems, and honestly, recognizing these challenges early makes all the difference between thriving plants and, well, disappointing harvests. Root knot nematodes, which are these tiny microscopic worms, create galls on pepper roots and represent one of the most common yet invisible threats to pepper productivity. These pests can severely damage root function without creating any obvious, above-ground symptoms until, the damage becomes pretty extensive. Fungal diseases like Phytophthora and Pythium thrive in waterlogged soil conditions, attacking pepper roots and causing rapid plant decline. Prevention is so much more effective than treatment when it comes to these soil-borne pathogens. Ensuring proper drainage, avoiding overwatering, and maintaining soil organic matter levels really helps create conditions that naturally suppress harmful fungi, while also encouraging beneficial microorganisms that compete with pathogens. Building root resilience honestly starts with creating optimal growing conditions right from the beginning. Starting pepper seedlings in a well-draining, sterilized seed-starting mix prevents those early root diseases that can weaken plants throughout their growing season. Transplanting carefully to avoid root damage, providing consistent growing conditions, and avoiding soil compaction from foot traffic or heavy equipment, these steps protect developing root systems during their most vulnerable periods. When pepper plants do show signs of root stress, like wilting even though the soil is moist, yellowing leaves, or stunted growth, taking swift action can often save your harvest. Gently excavating around the root zone to assess any damage, improving drainage if waterlogging is evident, and applying beneficial mycorrhizal inoculants can really help struggling plants recover. Sometimes pruning damaged root sections and repotting container plants in fresh-growing medium gives pepper plants the fresh start they need to resume vigorous growth. The underground world of pepper roots honestly holds the key to transforming your pepper harvest from ordinary to extraordinary. By understanding and nurturing these hidden systems, you're not just growing peppers, you're cultivating a thriving underground ecosystem that will reward you with abundant, flavorful harvests season after season. Ready to revolutionize your pepper growing? Start by examining your soil structure, testing your pH, and implementing consistent watering practices. Your pepper roots will thank you with the most productive harvest you've ever experienced. If you found these underground secrets as fascinating as I do, make sure to subscribe to Smart Garden for more deep dive gardening insights that actually work. Share this video with fellow gardeners who are ready to dig deeper into the science of successful growing, and let me know in the comments which root secret surprised you most.